So what's it that Pakistan are looking at?
368 for a victory.
367 is what Australia's got. Okay.
Yes. 367 on the back of magnificent centuries from David Warner. 4th consecutive against Pakistan. Mitchell Marsh hitting a century on his birthday. And 284 for 2. You felt that they could have crossed 400, but a collapse of 7 for 83 ensured that, and Shaheen Afridi taking 5 wickets. Pakistan have pulled things back towards the fag end. 367 for 9. And
did you say 4th consecutive 100 for David Warner?
Against Pakistan.
In ODI cricket. So I think this streak stretches back till 2017. So in 4 ODIs that he's played Pakistan, he's gotten 100 in every single match.
Yeah, Sydney he got 100, 179 in Adelaide, 107 he got in Bristol, and now 163.
He wouldn't have got that 100 had Osama Mir got hold of that catch. He was on what at the time?
I think he
10 maybe, something like that.
2030 he was on, yeah.
Whatever, it was just the start of the innings. It was Shaheen Shah Afridi. Imagine, and we'll spend some time talking about Shaheen Shah Afridi. It's his second or the third over of the game. Would have got you the big wicket of David Warner. And then, that's not to say that Australia wouldn't have got a big total. There's a good chance that they would still got a big total because this is a belter of a track, small boundaries and all of that. But you never know. You get a breakthrough, then there are a bit of a collapse. Maybe Steve Smith, Labuschagne, as you saw a little later in the inning, could not really get the innings going. What if that had happened earlier? You could have restricted them to about, let's say, 300, 310. In which case, Pakistan would have been in the game. They could have fancied their chances. I know Pakistan has chased, almost 350 versus Sri Lanka, but that was a Sri Lankan bowling attack. This is the Australian bowling attack. So 350 or 368, what they're going to be chasing now, it doesn't seem very plausible. But I'm saying that wicket of David Warner, and maybe Australia are limited to 300. Then it was a possibility. You never know. Then 315, 320 also you would have looked at, maybe you can chase. But that extra 30, 40 runs that you've allowed them now seems that the game is too far. And what a debut for Osama Mir, let alone that catch, because after that he would be looking for a place to hide. Concedes almost 9 and over in his 9 overs, picks up that 1 wicket, clearly not a debut to remember. And this is the guy, and I think I only said it here yesterday, you must play Osama Mir, bring him, instead of Shadab, because Shadab is doing nothing. Well, I backed the wrong horse, I guess.
You backed the wrong horse, and because Osama Mir's inclusion was purely desperation. Because Shadab Khan was not doing well with the ball whatsoever. That's the main reason that he got axed. But you let go of Pakistan's best fielder. Shadab is Pakistan's best fielder.
But how else would you fit in an Osama Mir? You had to see that, I'll have to agree. Because Shadab and Nawaz weren't getting you the wickets, you had to make a change. So you got Osama. How else would you have got him?
But then you see, the other part of the duo, even now he didn't contribute. 7 overs, none for 43.
I mean, 6.10 economy on a track where everyone's getting belted. I'll take that. But that's his role. He's never been a wicket taker in the sense, Nawaz.
Also, Nawaz going out and then keeping 2 leggies would have been very one-dimensional. So the only option you could have got Osama would be for Shadab. Even though Shadab's a vice captain. But you couldn't have dropped a left-arm spinner and got 2 leggies.
Yeah.
So the only positive from the hammering that Osama has got is the fact that Australia have Zampa, and you're thinking, okay, this leg spinner has gone for a lot. Hopefully the other leg spinner will also go for a lot. Though if you ask me, frankly, that's not going to happen, because I think the difference is going to be chalk and cheese. For all you know, Zampa could be that guy today that really steps up for Australia, especially after the 4 wickets that he got in the previous game. And you know who's the highest wicket taker on this ground? If you include IPL games, Yuzi Chahal.
Yes.
So leggies enjoy it, but Osama is an exception.
But forget Nawaz, the best bowler who didn't get a wicket was Iftikhar. 8 overs, none for 37. Why didn't he bowl a lot more?
He got a wicket, I think. Iftikhar?
No.
Okay. Iftikhar didn't get a wicket. Mir got the wicket, the one spinner.
Osama got.
Yeah. He got 1 wicket and that's it.
Shivam, can you be kind enough? He did not. But look at his economy.
Exactly.
4.60. Outstanding.
Exactly.
Outstanding.
And early on, it's worth noting that even he was getting smashed. So he pulled things back very nicely.
Actually, no, but he started off well because they gave him in the power play. They brought him on in the power play. At that time, they were hammering the fast bowlers, but then he and actually Shaheen Shah Afridi in the beginning pecked things back a bit. But I'll tell you where, all hell broke loose for Pakistan was when you introduced Haris Rauf. His first over goes for 24 runs. Because that extra pace that he has, they enjoyed it and then played through the line. And why Australia did well, and you're going to look at, I know a lot of people will say, no, finally the Australian batting is firing. It's not so much that they finally come into form, it's a lot to do with the surface.
Correct.
If you see the surface here, this is to Australia's liking, where there's good enough bounce, the ball really coming onto the bat, where they like to play through the line. Very Australia-like conditions, or sometimes the flat England track conditions, or what you get in South Africa. These kind of conditions you get here, which is what they enjoy. As soon as it's a bit of a sticky wicket which holds on to a bit, these guys start struggling. That's where India excels, and that's why when they've got the previous wickets before this, especially in the game versus India you saw, and then they had another loss where you got these sticky wickets, so they could not get going. If you make this Australian team play an Indian team also on these conditions, even though India is in outstanding form, it will be a completely different game to the game that we saw in Chennai. So, they'll start, almost at an even keel, and I say that despite the fact that India is looking so much better than all other team in this World Cup. But in these conditions, on this ground, play India-Australia, it's a 50-50 game. I'm talking about this Indian team. So I think that surface kind of suited Australia, and even before the game started, you knew that Australia would have an advantage because this is the kind of surface where you need a lot of dashers, a lot of hitters, and that's the game that they enjoy. That's the kind of game they play. Pakistan, on the other hand, would not like a surface like that. They would like a, less total sort of a ground where bowlers come into the play. So not to their liking as such. So it started off with advantage Australia. Now though they've gone.
Yeah, and I don't see, many people are saying, 360, 350, it can be up Pakistan's alley, but I'm sorry. The Australian bowling is a little better than the Sri Lankan bowling. I think we read too much into that chase. And remember, Sri Lanka also dropped catches. I don't think this Australian team might drop catches.
I agree with you, but I do think that, what Pakistan would have been at one point mentally prepared, that was 400 plus chases loading. And the pitch hasn't really gotten any better or worse. It's still very true. Underlights will ease out. I say, I'm not definitely Australia favorites, but it's like 70-30.
Oh,
yeah.
You're giving them a chance.
I'm giving them a chance. I do think if they get one, and generally what does Pakistan's batting tend to do? If they get that one player who can score a big 100, everyone else build around him. It's not impossible, although I will say Australia definitely will find things better, but plenty of concerning signs for them still. There was a comfortable 420, 430 today, and once again, familiar issue of a collapse. Everyone falling in clusters and heaps.
No, well, I agree that they should have got 420. So kudos to the Pakistani bowlers, and I think we'll speak about them a little later. Good stuff by them. But just getting back to that, will they be able to chase it? Why I'm not giving Pakistan too much chance is simply because that's kind of batting. You would, they reached about 240 odd playing safe cricket, runner ball cricket, which is something that they can do.
They can do.
But the thing is that this says about 370, where you would need a quick fire knock as well. Do Pakistan have that kind of batters? They may give you cameos, quick fires. Yeah, cameos, but you would need someone to get a big total with a quick strike rate. With that in mind, I don't see their batting order because it seems very one-dimensional. Abdullah Shafiq, very technically correct. Again, a runner ball can get you a big knock, which you would need. Imam, similar. Babar, similar. Babar technically very good. Aesthetically, looks very nice. But again, similar sort of a batter, like, in the Virat Kohli mold. Rizwan as well, similar sort of a batter. Short Shakil, I would say similar
batter.
It's only Iftikhar who has that X factor, in the sense the one who can really cut loose and give you those kind of runs. Maybe Nawaz to a certain extent could do it, but then that's too late. I don't know. I agree that if let's say this situation was India chasing, let's say a New Zealand chasing, maybe even an England chasing, and I'm only saying England chasing on this track because this would have suited them. I would have said, it's a 60-40 game, like 60 to Australia, 40 I would have given to the game. Just that that is not the kind of batting lineup that Pakistan has. Of course, the point well taken of Siddharth about, let's not forget Australia's bowling as well. They'll be much better than the Sri Lankan bowler against whom they got it. That agreed. But overall, even if it was the Sri Lankan bowling today on this surface, I don't know. That would be once in a blue moon sort of a chase for them to do it again.
I don't know, with Pakistan, I'm always hesitant to call it right down the middle. For one, they are unpredictable. We know that. Even today, as I said, it looked like 420 comfortably pegged back very nicely. One of their better players, again, big Babar 100. Not ruling them out.
So if unpredictable, then they could even fold up for 150.
Yeah, of course. I'm leaving that open too.
I'll tell you, see, this match has gone typical Pakistan way. As I had said, ever since creation, Pakistan have consistently dropped catches. Now, look at 15, look at 19, look at 2023. I'm sure one meme will come up. Left-hand bowler, Warner getting a top edge, catch being dropped. Where have we heard that or seen that? It's happened multiple times in the history of Pakistan, especially with Australia also. 19 in Bristol, he cut Wahab Riaz. Fakhar Zaman dropped the catch. You saw that iconic image of that meme. Here, he uppercut, I think, Shaheen. Usama Mir dropped the catch. 4 or 5 guys. Chinnaswamy.
No, were they?
It's come out. It's come out in the ICC. Yes,
that one guy, that was in England.
England,
In
Bristol.
2019, yeah.
15. In a smaller chase, Wahab Riaz was absolutely breathing fire against Shane Watson. What happens?
Top edge.
Top edges, Rahat Ali drops the catch at long leg. Simple. When Pakistan drop catches like how they have done today, and their bowlers absolutely fall flat, their batters don't step up.
I cannot. Actually, this is an interesting thing. I'm not going to go as far as Siddharth, where he says ever since their creation, they've been dropping catches. But there is some truth to that. That no matter which Pakistan team, from whichever era you pick, while you've always sometimes admired the bowling skills that they bring to the table, or their batting skills, or their fighting spirit, and so many other things we talk about, this is one thing that they've been consistent with, their fielding. For some reason, they've always been a very dodgy fielding set. I don't know why. What do you put it out? It's not that they don't do fielding drills. I've covered many a Pakistan practice session. They do as many fielding drills as any other team. They have the same kind of exercises or drills that other teams do. So there's nothing visible that why, but it's just for some reason they will do.
At this point, it's mental. It's like South Africa teams, generation and generation, they'll have that one moment in ICC tournaments where the C word comes out. It's the same with them. I don't think you have bad fielders. And by the way, Siddharth was talking about Shadab. Shadab, by the way,
As I said.
so it has in fact turned up. Shadab, by the way, came on as a sub fielder and took 2 catches today.
Yeah.
So they didn't really miss him as a fielder.
That's the problem. And look, Pakistan, why would you think Wasim and Waqar, 2 of the greatest bowlers, ended with those wickets? They only wanted an LBW or a bold. They didn't trust their fielders.
No, that was also because they started reversing.
Yes.
That's the one mode of dismissal that they were most likely to get wickets out of.
And we all say that Mohammad Rizwan's a safe keeper. He did a Kamran Akmal today in the end.
No, Rizwan
He waited. Oh, okay. But the batsman had already dived in. Kamran Akmal did that in Sydney. Okay, collected the ball. Watson's here. Oh, should I break the stumps? He dives. He's in.
Yeah, while that was bizarre, that only happened at the last ball. So would have saved them 1 run if he had been. But I also can't, for the life of me, understand what is it that Rizwan was doing. Who was he waiting for? Why did he not take off the bails earlier? That was absolutely bizarre. And I'm not even talking benefit of replays that we saw. It was even much before that when it happened in real life or real time action that you were like, what the hell is he doing? Like, what is he doing?
He can get inspired by Kamran Akmal. The greatest of all when it comes to Pakistan. I mean, his catch dropping, there was a reason why he was called the Earl of Ur. Yeah.
Earl of
Ur.
Because he'd have one too many errors,
I mean, birthdays. I mean, Mitchell Marsh, we're talking about him scoring a World Cup 100 on a birthday. 12 years back, Ross Taylor also scored 131 on his birthday. Benefited from 4 drop chances by Kamran Akmal. And 1 catch, it was so undroppable, it defied the laws of physics. How could you drop that? Just it's coming down, He dropped it.
Today, like I'll tell you, Osama Mir's catch, there was a technical error. I mean, clearly, when you're taking a catch like that, you would ideally, even if you've got your hands pointing up in the air, there are two options. Either you do it like this, or if you do it like this as well, you need to be able to see your hands.
Yeah.
So the technical thing is, it has to be high for two reasons. One, you see your hands, and secondly, it allows you that cushion that you need to, because when you take the catch, it's not going to stay here. Your hands will come down. So two things. One, you need to keep your hands like this, and then you need to bring it down as well like that, right? Two things. So it has to be here, and then it serves two purposes. That's the correct technique when we are much younger coaches. His thing was how he took the catches. Eyes are there, but his hand is here. So when you're not looking at your hand, there's not that, what do you call that, cushion space as well to take it down, and neither are you. There's a disconnect, right, between what you're seeing and where it's going to land. It's just a sort of an instinct you have where your hands are. And in his case, though, he didn't even have his hands closed. It actually went between that. But it was like this. Should have been much higher. But there was elementary mistake that he made, and these are things that you're taught at a much younger level. So technical issue there.
Shafiq also technical issue. He dived, but then he was over the ball, just clasped it, burst through. Same Babar Azam, technical issue. But okay, Steve Smith's kryptonite against leg spin exposed yet again. Osama Mir getting him, and he was dropped by the way on one. 6 runs only he was made to pay. So that's the thing. And
in all of this, must take our time to celebrate one Pakistan achiever. Now I'm a bit disappointed. It looked like Haris Rauf is going to get to his century. Did not happen. Pull things back. Would have been 100. But the real achiever today stands out, despite the fact that Iftikhar had good economy figures. But to get a fifer is much bigger than 100. It is bigger than 150 also. It's very rare you get half the team out. He got it, Shaheen Shah Afridi. And with an economy of 5.4 in a small ground where everyone else was just like lambs to slaughter, would get hammered. He gets 5 wickets, 5.4. And this is something that was Pakistan's problem going into this game. When I was analyzing the game yesterday, I said, if Pakistan have to do well, Shaheen Shah Afridi really needs to come to the party. He did. But clearly not everyone else chipped in. But this is a performance that he'll remember for a long time. One of a outstanding performances. What this also shows that sometimes we keep giving excuses of flat track, shorter boundary, what can the bowlers do, you're tilting the game completely towards the batter. What a quality bowler shows you that if you have the skill, you can come up with good figures today. Today he was smart. One thing that I did notice by Shaheen Shah Afridi, he was making one mistake in the previous games, which was absolutely clear. He was trying to do a bit too much and over pitching. So he was over pitching, and in that effort to bring the ball in was also straying down the leg side. If you remember that shot that Rohit hit him off, for a 6 at the start of that India-Pakistan game, and he was straying down the leg side. Today what he did was bowled within himself, firstly pull that length back. So he got the right length going. That's the one thing that he did. The second most important thing, he was using a lot of cutters also, change of pace, variation that he was doing. So finally, just as everyone was pointing out, maybe he sat down himself or the coaching team sat down and said, listen, you're a strike bowler. You need to, just change your length a bit, become a bit more smarter in your bowling. And that's good to see that he did it. And you can clearly see with the figures that as soon as he made those changes, whether it was with the new ball or with it was the older ball when he came back later, he was effective. So salute to Shaheen Shah.
Yeah, I mean, to come back from that onslaught that he had at the start, Warner and Marsh, both were going after him. And that one shot from Marsh, effortless, just lofted him straight down the line.
Yeah.
6. Any bowler's confidence could have taken a big hit, but not Shaheen. And twice he was on a hat-trick. Twice he missed it by a whisker.
And let's not forget, you're talking about his confidence taking a hit. Imagine how much of his confidence would have taken a hit when that catch was dropped.
Yes.
So it's also not easy for you to recover from that, because you're always thinking, oh, I'm bowling well, fielders are not supporting me, and then you tend to stray. But again, to bring yourself back, okay, be in the moment, forget what's happened, all of that, fantastic performance.
I think Pakistan's bowlers are told a brief. Don't rely on the fielders. Be confident right from the word go. You need to have 110% confidence, because 10% confidence in your fielders are gonna get you down. So from time immemorial, Pakistan's fielders ensure that bowlers are 110% confident of their skills. That's why they achieve what they do. It's the it goes against the norm. If you look at Pakistan's bowlers, it goes against the norm.
If I was Haris, I would be upset with my skipper because it was chance for him to get to 100. He was going 10 runs and over. You didn't give him those 2 overs. Otherwise, the 100 was for the taking.
Yeah.
So, captain, you robbed him.
He could have gone at 150 because at one point he was 3 overs for 47.
He was, I think, the one bowler they took a liking to the most because so much pace, small boundaries, hit through the line, boom, flying, out, easy. Just didn't matter.
That's the problem.
On a pitch like this, pace is your enemy. That's what even Shaheen figured out and later was bowling a lot of cutters. Were very effective.
And that's why you got one guy who can do it very well in the Australian team, that's Hazelwood. Stark and Cummins might go for a lot of runs on this wicket because short boundaries, 63 meters square boundaries, what will you do? A top edge will go for 6.
Okay, questions coming up. Let's start with Mr. Shekhar, and he's telling me, come on Nikhil sir, had it been an Indian debutant in World Cup, you would have given the margin of error for him in the first game. So be neutral and cut Osama some slack. Honestly telling you, Shekhar, I would have not given any leeway to even an Indian debutant. If you have a debut like this, where you drop a David Warner and then he gets the score that he does, and then you get hammered. For his bowling, I would have still allowed him that leeway. But fielding, if you reach the international level, those are things you expect out of college level players, club level players. They are not expected to miss those catches. Even they, in their first club game, if you miss a catch like that, you'd be questioned. This is international level. So anyone who reaches there, you have to be holding catches. For bowling and other things that said, yeah, maybe you can, say, okay, slight inexperience, came up against a top team like Australia, batting paradise, small boundaries, all of that you can look at and be a bit gentle on him, but not for his fielding. No, I'm not going to.
I think most of the Indian debutants have done well so far, whenever we have looked at it, from 1980s.
Not Nilesh Kulkarni.
But Kulkarni never played in a World Cup.
No, debutants.
First ball wicket, never took anything after that.
But poor guy, you got to feel for him. The ground that he was bowling in. Aditya Sharma says, I'm disappointed in Siddharth's comment on Virat Kohli. I'll let Siddharth answer that, but before that I'll say that, listen, everyone, all of us can't have the same opinion. Okay, we cannot have the same opinion, and that is what our show is all about, right? Different opinions. How can everyone have the same opinion? And whatever Siddharth's opinion, I'm sure there are other. So we did a poll yesterday. While 70% disagreed with him, there was a good 20-25% that agreed with him. How can we not represent that 20-25% as well? How can we only be talking what the majority or agree on what the majority wants? So there has to be an opinion, there has to be a debate, and there has to be allowance for everyone to express. As I said, sometimes one opinion will suit everyone's narrative and will be the popular one. Sometimes it will be unpopular, but everyone's entitled to an opinion. Yes, Siddharth, please.
Look, when you saw the entire match, sure, 48th ton is a stupendous feat. Yes. Third ODI ton, third World Cup ton rather, first in a chase. For Virat Kohli, it's fantastic. No one is cutting him slack for the way how he reached the 100. 103 of 95, great strike rate and all. Okay, he accelerated towards the end also. But if you looked at how it all went, 26 runs, not taking a single, I can give him that leeway if he was batting with the tail. Agreed. Then please, not just 26, hit all 62 runs that you can. But that was KL Rahul at the other end. Okay. Now, personal milestones.
But what if KL himself doesn't want to take the strike which he said? Then what to do?
I told you, you have to read KL Rahul's comments, Aditya, because that was the clincher for me. Because he said, no, go for your milestone. And it comes in the backdrop of not an Indian commenting, an outsider, a New Zealand guy, Simon Dool, saying that we only care for numbers. We care only for milestones. You had a Virat Kohli, you had a epitome who proved him wrong each and every time. 47 times prior to this, he had proven him wrong. He never played for his milestone. Yesterday, he played for his milestone. Fine, India won, but why must you give any other outsider to point fingers at you? We would have always disagreed with the fact that you had Virat Kohli. He never plays
A couple of outsiders, and not outsiders, insiders also. Two players who have raised questions are Matthew Hayden and Cheteshwar Pujara about how India approached that. Is that video up already?
Yes.
Yeah, so that video is up on Sports Today. Do check out what Matthew Hayden and Cheteshwar Pujara said on that matter. For our opinion, you can check out our post show from last night. Okay, next one.
ICT fan says that we said that match could have been won in 35 overs. Kohli started from 38.4 overs. He was on 70, 74, finished it in 41.2. 17 balls, 29 runs. Was the NRR really hurt? I mean, see, you can put that across and say sure, but I mean, if you're looking at the table, then you went from a 1.8 NRR to a 1.6 NRR. So yes, your net run rate was hurt. It did actually end up falling. Simple as.
As I said, there is nothing which we are directing very personally at Virat Kohli. Let us make it very clear here, okay? But look, two instances which ensure that, okay, you had to play to the gallery. Richard Kettleborough not giving that wide. And that stare from Kohli. Where have we seen that before? Melbourne and now Pune. That showed that was something did not look right.
No, I will just take in what Matthew Hayden had said. It's there in that video. He said that, listen, the cricketing gods, no, they're a sinister mob. Don't actually take too much things into, take too many liberties. I do agree with him there. Sinister mob indeed. It's a nice line.
No, but you guys should not get, though I disagreed with the two of you, but that's my opinion and their opinion. And there are a lot of times where I have the unpopular opinion, they have the popular opinion. It's just how you look at the game. And that's what is the beauty about cricket and cricket discussions, right? All of us look at a particular situation differently.
Correct.
And what we try and do in our show is put that opinion out. You may like it. Also, as someone who's watching, why do you expect everyone to have the same opinion as you? Wouldn't the world then be so boring?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you also, as watching, would want to hear everyone's opinion? You stick by what you think is right. Absolutely. Nobody's asking you to change your own opinion. You stick by it. But try and listen to everyone's point of view. As I said, I did not agree with the two of them, but I'm not forcing them to change their opinion. What their opinion is, should be their opinion. They have reasons. We debate, and each of us then have to come out with reasons. We can't just sit here and say, no, I didn't like it. Just because, I don't like his face. None of us ever says that. We come out with cricketing reasons why we like or do not like a certain thing. So wouldn't it then be boring that all of us said the same thing? And as you said, majority like that, but we've got now two former cricketers which kind of looked at the same scenario just as Siddharth and Shane did. So they're not just the only two people in this world.
Yeah. And again, ICT fan, before we end this, it is nothing is right or nothing is wrong in this entire. Okay. Nothing is right or nothing is wrong in this entire situation. Because look, everything is a shade of grey. There is no right or no wrong in this entire debate whatsoever. And that's why
there's a lot of subjectivity involved, let's say. That's the thing. Anyway, we'll take a couple more questions because the match is about to start, truth be told. Let's see. Shreyansh Pudipeddi says depth is needed in teams like AUS and SA. Otherwise, whenever there is a collapse, these teams struggle. Actually, he makes an interesting point because for all the talk about batting depth this and batting depth that, actually both Australia and South Africa only bat till 7.
Exactly.
I'm not counting Marco Jansen as a pure all-rounder in that regard. He's a Shardul-like all-rounder at best.
India also actually technically bat till 7.
But even the 8 is an improvement on what you used to have previously.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much. And truth be told, you don't have much better. Sad reality is that.
That's the problem. So, any other questions? Okay, Saket Mishra. All our life, the world has bowed to Aussies. One instance, world bows to Kohli and everyone gets riled up.
I don't think you need to be bowing to anyone.
Who got riled up? Saket Mishra. Let me just tell you. Look, you wanted to play to the gallery. You could make it in a very subtle way, not blatantly. This was blatant playing to the gallery.
Either there was that or Kettleborough had the worst brain fade moment, to quote certain Steve Smith. It was either of the two, and neither of them is a great look. Because you can't be making an error that blindingly obvious at that particular moment. Anyway, let it be. I think I'm done.
We are done with that.
Let's see. Now, how is it that Pakistan go about this entire chase?
Two slips in place, and at this point, we'll see how much swing can Stark get at this point in time. So, Because I think it'll be Stark opening along with Hazelwood, or will it be?
It'll be Stark, of course, has to be Stark.
Cummins will be first change.
Cummins is always the first change, so I think it'll be Stark and Hazelwood to start, then Cummins coming on.
Yeah.
I mean-
Akash Bharadwaj, guys, I want to know this time, are you nervous for India in semi-finals? You're always nervous.
Always nervous, my friend, always nervous. Let's not kid ourselves, always nervous. Anyway, do you think Australia are then winning this in how many overs?
See, I think it will be a 15-20 run win.
Yeah.
It'll
So
go
not a
the
very
full
big
distance.
one, not a very big one.
It'll go the full distance. And I think Pakistan will put up a fight, but I don't see them winning it.
I think I'm going, and again, I am sticking with my pre-match and saying that Pakistan, despite the fact that I'm still giving Australia 70-30, I don't know, something tells me they're winning it. Let's see. But I agree with you in the sense that I don't see, unless Pakistan do the most Pakistan thing ever and just collapse, I also think that they'll go the distance, because again, this pitch really has nothing much in it for bowlers. Nothing. It's a very flat deck, very flat deck.
But maybe under lights, there
Early
could be a bit
movement.
of zip.
Could be very well be.
Okay, so let's just see this first ball, how it goes.
He's getting a bit of movement, but starts with a wide. Wayward. Anyway, we'll take your leave for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget, if you're on this video, you enjoy our work, like, share, subscribe, tap that bell, leave us a comment. We like hearing from you guys. Follow us on social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Download the AajTak app, check out their website, and stay tuned. Lots more coming your way, including, of course, a nice long discussion on this match whenever it ends.
Yep.
Right now, though, from Siddharth, me, and of course, Nikhil, who left, it's bye-bye.
Bye-bye.